Welcome to Grandpa Hill's Stories. I am Grandpa Hill. For my children, my grandchildren, and all children, what you're about to hear really happened to me.
Welcome to Grandpa Hill's True Stories. This is a slightly wiser story. It is for my children, my grandchildren, and all children, but mostly for my older grandchildren and for my wife. I'm here with my wife, Mary Lee, and my grandson, David. And I am going to tell them a story about when I kissed a woman that I wasn't married to.
What?
That's the truth. So this took place, I think, in about 1983 maybe, or 82. And I was working at Battelle Memorial Institute, and I was doing failure analysis. And I had a really exciting project. I was so happy they gave it to me. I was working on a failure out of a nuclear reactor. It was radioactive material. That's exciting. It was a crack in a boiling water reactor. And I was going to do a great job and go to Washington, D.C. and report to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission of the United States of America about the crack in the boiling water reactor. We had done the work quickly. It took about a week, and it was time to go to Washington, D.C. I had packed up my stuff. I was with my boss, Tom Grunewald, and we drove across town, got to the airport, got to the where the plane was going to pick, where we were going to board, and we were sitting there waiting and discussing what we were going to say to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And somehow in the discussion, we were talking about a page in the report that was going to be controversial. So I tried to pull out the report and show it to my boss, but I realized I did not have the report. I didn't have the report, and I was going to have to, this was the whole reason for going to Washington, D.C., was this report. It was going to be handed to our client, which was Georgia Power, and it was going to be handed to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and that was going to be what we were going to do there. So now I'm in trouble with the whole project. I'm in trouble, of course, with my boss. And, that would be a good idea. Dang. I didn't have the microphone plugged in. So, Mary Lee has a question.
You said you kissed somebody other than your wife?
Yes, and after I was married to my wife. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know I don't look sorry. It's an interesting story. Okay, so we're at the airport and we're going to leave, and I don't have my report, and the plane is going to leave in a half an hour, which means we're going to start boarding soon. And it's harder to tell a story with you looking at me. Anyway, so the secretary was called, and she was 20 minutes away. And my boss said, I'll try to get them to wait. You go down to the where they drop people off for flights and wait for Jody. So Jody is coming, but she just doesn't get there. And I'm there waiting, and she just doesn't get there. And pretty soon it's like, we are not going to fly and we're not going to get anywhere. And so Jody finally comes flying into the airport, and she's really, really like nervous and excited and everything else. And I get the report from her, and then like spontaneously thanking her, I kissed her. And it wasn't, yeah, I did. And it's like, I don't even know why. It's just like, I was just so excited, and I wanted to, and I couldn't take any time to talk about anything. And, so we went from there. I got on the plane. Oh no, when I came to get on the plane, everyone else is on the plane. My boss is there kind of arguing with the lady in charge of the counter that they just gotta wait another couple minutes, because by now we're past the leaving time, and he has got the plane to stay there by the stink that he's making. And then finally I come running as fast as I can with the report, and I basically run right onto the plane, which you can't do today because you have all the security things and all that stuff. And then we went on the flight, and we got to Washington, D.C., and like in the middle of the flight, it's like, I realized I kissed Jody. That's really like, it's the only person like outside of the family, like my mother or my sister or something, that I've ever kissed. And outside, other than my wife or my kids. And it's just like, and I don't know even now. Like, it wasn't like a romantic kiss. It was like thankful. I'm just really thankful, because I feel like, oh, my job's getting saved, and she really pushed it to get there and everything else.
So now you're going to tell me that you kissed her on the lips, too.
Yeah.
Ooh. You're getting in trouble.
I wasn't going to tell you that. So, but I'll also tell you that I'd counseled her later with her daughter, when her daughter was going to marry someone that she didn't approve of. And I got him to go on an engaged encounter weekend, and the couple, and then they broke up. So she was really thankful about that. And I also had talked to her about, helped her in the sense that where she was, she had been divorced and remarried and stuff like that. And there was a lot of times that I was able to help her with other things, but again, none of it romantic or anything like that. And it seems just so, again, I'm sorry if that offends you now, and I'm glad you forgot about it, and I'm hoping you forget about it again. and that's my story. Well, but I did feel guilty about kissing her, but I didn't really have it. And I told you back then that I had. And it was like, yeah, it was just like a spontaneous thing. I was just extremely thankful. It's like if you said to someone, "Oh, I could just kiss you." I didn't say that, but if it was like that, like, oh, it was like, this was the most fantastic thing that I had this report. Of course, I had a long way to run to get on a plane, and we still just made it.